Hi, I'm Matt.
Hey there, I'm Bianca, and we are in beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia.
And in this episode, we're going to be talking about what to bring on a lifestyle vacation.
So stay tuned, we're the traveling swingers, eh?
So here we are in Vancouver.
We are in Vancouver. The city is so beautiful.
Yeah.
And there is so much, food and cocktails.
That's right. And you've had a couple of Caesars, the Canadian.
I did.
Canadian
I'd
drink.
never tried a Caesar before, and you encouraged me to yesterday. And I'm hooked now.
Uh-huh.
It's really good.
Yeah, it's in case you don't know what that is, it's a Bloody Mary, but instead of tomato juice, it's Clamato.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
Which I would never go out of my way to drink. But
it's delicious.
When you add vodka and spices, it's pretty good. And I've had two different kinds.
Exactly.
So each place has their own spin on it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, really good.
Perfect. Well, today we wanted to talk about just all the things you should bring on a lifestyle vacation.
Yeah.
There are a lot of things that you should bring on a
Yeah.
lifestyle vacation, and it's not the same as a vanilla vacation. Some of the things are,
Yeah.
but some of the things aren't.
Clothes.
So it really just kind of depends on what type of trip you're going on.
Right.
For example, we've gone on trips to Jamaica, to hedonism, where you're basically lying on a beach or in a pool naked all day long.
Yeah.
We've been on lifestyle cruises where you have your nudity sections and your sexy sections, and you're going off where there's kids around. And then we have the trip that's actually coming up shortly to France. That's kind of all of the above as far as what is going to be needed.
Yeah, and packing can be kind of overwhelming just for a regular trip, but then add on this other side of it, and you're just like, whoa, what do I do?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
That's what we're here.
So there's a lot of differences between vanilla and lifestyle trips, and the first couple of trips that you and I had gone on, you had realized that you were doing things not correctly. For example, the underwear issue.
Well, yeah, I find it funny. When we vacation, I usually pack at least 2 pair per day, because usually you go do your sightseeing or whatever, and then you get all sweaty and gross, and then you want to go home or back to your place where you're staying,
Mm-hmm.
take a shower, freshen up, and get ready for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And I want a fresh pair. So 2 every day. But I found when we went to hedonism, I wore one on the way and one home. That was all I wore. And I did my normal packing of 2 per day and was like, wow, I really didn't wear any. So
you just spent really the whole days and nights just without panties
pretty
on.
much, because you go all day anyways without, so in the morning I would just slip something easy on to get to breakfast,
Mm-hmm.
whether it was a tank top and shorts or whatever, and you don't need anything for that, or maybe just a little slip-on dress or whatever.
Right.
And then after breakfast we would go really to the pool and enjoy that, and that's all nude.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'd go back to the room and get ready for dinner, and it was at that point, why bother putting any on? It's just, easy access and airy.
Okay, so less panties than you would wear on a
less
vanilla trip.
Something else I remember noticing when we were in Jamaica was I needed more hair ties.
Is that a blowjob thing?
A blowjob thing, but also when you're at the pool, you want your hair back.
Yeah. Secondary.
Yeah. But I remember that was something specifically that I was like, more hair ties.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and
a lot more sunscreen because you need full coverage.
Sure. And we've talked to a lot of people that actually have run into issues when they're flying, as far as bringing toys, because a lot of people do like to bring toys on their vacations, especially if it's a lifestyle vacation. They're going to be meeting other people. We've talked to women who, for example, can't get an orgasm without a vibrator,
right?
And so they want to make sure that they bring trusty old vibrator with them.
And people just feel like it enhances their experience sexually in that, and why not take that with you on vacation?
Exactly. So if you are going to be bringing your toys, there are some things to keep in mind, especially if you're going to deal with the TSA and going through security.
Well, and that's something we've never really taken toys, and part of the reason is it's we have a few times, but we usually don't end up using them. So for us, it's why bother carrying them? But I remember we went somewhere and we took a toy and it was like, well, whose carry-on bag is it gonna go? It's going in your carry-on bag because I don't want to get caught with that toy.
That's right. You had like a giant black dildo.
I did not.
you had I don't know what you're
I don't remember what it
some
was.
vibrator, and it ended up going in my suitcase, and like the whole time I was like totally nervous about it. It's like, oh my god, it's gonna start vibrating, and this was a carry-on too, so it's like going through the X-ray machine and all that. And
so, I mean, here's the thing. If you're really nervous, like if it was a really expensive piece of machinery and you're nervous about putting it in your check-in luggage, you can take it in your carry-on, but just be aware that there is a good chance they're going to open it up. And if you're okay with that, you know, little kids standing behind you or whatever, that's up to you.
Right. And
definitely take the batteries out.
Take the batteries out. That's you don't want it going off you know, or some
but be prepared to have them open it up and have to explain yourself.
That's right, because you know, if they've got some vibrating giant thing in there, you know, it's going through X-ray, they might think it's a bomb scare or something.
Well, but here's the thing, a lot of vibrators nowadays don't look like penises. They have a different shape now, they're molded differently. So, you know, there could be a question of what the hell is that, and then they need to open it up and ask more questions. So another thing that I had read about was it's a good idea if it's because a lot of vibrators are now rechargeable, and you recharge them by plugging them into a USB port. You should let it die before you pack it, so that it doesn't accidentally turn on and create issues within your luggage as well. So, and
I actually I did talk to someone who she brings a lot of toys and packs them together in her check-in, and will leave a note to the TSA members or security or whoever would be just, you know, going through her underwear, and puts a little note. These are sex toys, you know, just to let you know, so they don't red flag it or something like that. You know, have a nice day.
Well, and it's a good idea too if you're doing that. If you're putting it in your checked luggage, leave it on top. You know, don't hide it, because if they're wondering what that thing is in there, you don't want them rifling through your luggage and messing all the neatness up.
Sure.
So leave them on top. If you can, put them in a clear bag so that they can fully see what the deal is. Don't hide it. There's, you know, you've got sex toys, so what? You're going on a sex vacation, okay?
Yeah, if you're going to a country where that, you know, sex toys are illegal or something like that, or
do your research, study.
Then that obviously is going to be a very different issue. In the same way that you wouldn't want to be taking, you know, weed might be legal, like we have weed legal in Washington, but we're not going to go fly to somewhere where it's illegal because that's just a bad idea to do that.
Well, you don't want to start your vacation off on the wrong foot by doing something that you shouldn't have, and claiming, you know, that you didn't know. It still is going, even if you didn't know the rules and the laws on sex toys or whatever, or weed, you know, it's still going to like put a crimp in your vacation if you're stuck in TSA jail for a minute, like trying to explain yourself, and then you're going to have to find a box to ship your sex toys home. Are you going to miss your flight, like your connecting flight, like all that stuff? So just do your research. If you're traveling to a place where you're not sure, find out what their laws are on sex toys. In worst case scenario, you can always go buy a toy at wherever you're at. I mean, hedonism sells toys.
That's true.
So,
that's true. And the cruises sell toys.
Yeah. So you know, if you're really concerned about it, just buy a toy there.
And for example, like,
and then mail it back to yourself, I guess.
The trip that we're
like, or what do you do with it at the end if you don't want to take it home?
The trip that we're going on to in France in a month is also like they're bringing a Sibian.
Yeah.
So we don't necessarily need to bring anything of that nature, because there'll be one there that we can use, or you can use.
Yeah. There's sex toys for men too. Like if you.
Oh no, I don't think I'd have a problem with the Sibian. I don't know how it would feel.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying there are sex toys for men. Like if you wanted to bring some sort of, I don't know, sex toy for a man.
Okay.
Your butt plugs, whatever. But again, even butt plugs, I would say, like, keep them in a clear bag on top. Like, you don't want them to think it's some sort of a weapon or something. And so that's my thing, is I don't want them rifling through my luggage and messing everything up.
Now I have this vision of you using a butt plug as a weapon of some sort on a plane. You didn't give me my second Bloody Mary. This is going right up ya. That's right.
It's happened where I didn't get my second drink.
Yeah, you'll end up in TSA jail. That's good. And then I'll go on vacation by myself. Fantastic. Right? Okay. And so let's see, what else? So with, of course, lifestyle vacations, you want to make sure you have condoms and lube.
Make sure you bring your own, especially like for me, I have allergies. Mm-hmm. So I want to make sure that I bring latex free. You don't want to assume that you can get what brand you love, what brand you trust, what brand you like. Mm-hmm. You don't want to assume that you can get that brand in another country. They may not sell it. Like if you get to hedonism, they may not sell the brand that you prefer. So it's always best to just travel with a whole bunch of them and bring more than you think you might need. It's, it's not like you're never going to use them again, right? Yeah. But, it's better to err on the side of caution and have more than not enough. And then you meet that one person and you're like, oh, fuck, I don't have a condom. And same with lube. If you have a preferred brand, definitely bring it with you. Mm-hmm. And make sure you package it really well so that it doesn't explode in your luggage, because that would be a big bummer too, right? Yeah, so one trick I learned, and I've done this before, is you take you can use plastic wrap or aluminum foil or something and put it, take the lid off, put it on top, and then screw your lid back on, and that helps to protect it from leaking all over.
Okay.
Yeah. So that works
lube
really
will
well.
destroy pretty much anything in your suitcase.
Well, because it's so oily and and you don't want to arrive at your destination and it all over whatever you packed for clothing, your sexy evening wear.
And speaking of sexy evening wear, most lifestyle vacations that you would go on will actually have theme nights.
Yeah. And
now, some people love theme nights, some people don't care about them in any way whatsoever. I'm a little bit of a mixed bag. I think, as I think a lot of people are, where some nights we're very, very excited, and then other nights we're just kind of like, it's not our thing. They're doing 70s night again. We don't care about 70s night. The trip we have in Paris, we have we're renting out a private a castle, and so that one of the nights is actually like medieval, so it's like princesses and stuff like that, and it's like, oh yeah, no, I would gladly bang you in a princess outfit in a castle. That, although that's never been particularly a fantasy of mine, I would gladly check that one off.
Sure, why not?
As would others check that one off with you in a castle. So it's a good fantasy.
I'm gonna bring my tiara.
Perfect. So you either love them or you don't, but that is definitely something to keep in mind if you have suitcase restrictions as far as your weight and the amount of stuff that you bring. But there's some give and take. So if you are bringing less panties, you can bring more evening gowns or shoes. But you can also take your evening gowns and you can double use them. I don't know, that's not the right term, but
for example, we're going to 3 different places when we go to France.
Right.
So you could rewear the one outfit 3 times. You could wear, if you're wearing or let's say, one of the nights is toga night. So let's say you don't necessarily wear a toga, but as a woman you wear a nice white dress and maybe a little Greek headdress, something or whatever, to really, because there are times where I don't want to dress up for the theme, but I'll wear a color that goes with it, or Mardi Gras night, I may not feel like dressing up full Mardi Gras, but I'll wear something that's purple, green, gold, something like that, to be a part of the celebration and the fun that's going on, but not necessarily full-on costume. It's just much easier to pack a smaller dress than a full-on costume. So, and then you can re-wear that dress other nights.
And you accessorize with it. So the next night you put a pirate patch on, an eye patch, and you're a pirate. You're a sexy pirate.
Well, I was going to say, for Mardi Gras night, you can wear one of the little things, the masks with feathers or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then the next time you wear it, you don't wear the mask because it's not Mardi Gras night at this club or whatever. So the other thing, speaking of clothes, that I had thought of was to bring, when you go on a longer trip, especially one like this where we are wearing clothing because we're in
public places.
Yeah. For the most part, we do have one town of no clothing, but right. But when you're traveling, things tend to get wrinkles, or maybe you need a little bit like a refreshener or whatever, and you might need to do some laundry here and there. So maybe bringing a little bottle of laundry soap that you can do some laundry in your room and hang it up might not be a bad idea. just in case you don't find a laundromat or you don't want to go to the laundromat because you're having too much fun. But sometimes you can have an outfit that you don't really sweat in. It's not a big deal. You didn't wear it for too long. Maybe they sell like Amazon or whatever. You can buy like refreshener spray that just kind of like gives it a little bit like of clean laundered smell, so that you don't have like the little sweat smells that might have stuck to it. I mean, remember, we're going on a sexy lifestyle trip, so you do want to continue to dress and smell to impress, right? Yeah,
and dressing to impress is very, very important too. You know, that's something that is definitely I would say it's difference between a vanilla trip and a lifestyle trip is that I can't think of any situation, any lifestyle situation I've been in that I wouldn't want to dress to impress in, at the very least, the evening time, where the guys will wear nice shirts, slacks, or a suit and tie, whatever it might be, or of course being in costume, and so that is something that we would do on a lifestyle trip that we might not necessarily do if we were with our kids or whatever it might be. So that's something to keep in mind specifically for the men. Women are easy. Wear a sexy dress. Perfect. There you go. They wad up into a tiny little ball.
Well, yeah, you can pack like 4 dresses and a pair of shoes.
but guys, it's a little bit more difficult. So be aware of that. That's where some of your weight is going to be with suitcases. It's going to be in the men's clothing. Even if it's the middle of summer and it's really hot out, you still want to have like some clubs, for example. Like we're going to some lifestyle clubs on this next trip where that men have to be in suits. And it's like that's cool on one hand. You're like, oh, I'm so turned on to see Matt in a suit and others. But that's something that now we have to pack.
Yeah.
And
with that, packing things like that, like suits, those can wrinkle easily. So one thing that you can bring are the wrinkle releasers. They've got a spray that you spray and then you can just kind of like pat it down, and that will help to release the wrinkles. Other things that we've done like on cruises, because you've brought suits or your tuxedo on cruises, is we'll steam it in the bathroom while we're getting ready. We'll just have the steam going in the bathroom and it steams it. Because on cruises you can't, they won't let you bring a steaming iron or like they won't bring it to you like to let you iron. So you can't bring an iron on board or a steamer on board, and they won't let you do it in your room. They won't bring you one, but you can pay them like $30 to go do it yourself. And we're just like, we'll just run the hot water and steam it. The other thing that we've done before too, like on his button-down shirts, is I bring a flattening iron, hair iron, and I use the flattening iron to like get the wrinkles and stuff out of his shirt too. So that works in a pinch as well. So just little tricks that we've learned along the way, but having some of that wrinkle releaser will help too, because you can just spritz it and call it good.
Right, and also with some of the larger trips like the lifestyle cruises and big events that might have hundreds or thousands of people at them, you want to make sure that you do have your cards, your personal cards that have your name and if you're on any of the numerous lifestyle websites, your usernames, or even a lot of people use Facebook now that have like Matt and Bianca is like our Facebook name, for example. Have those with your pictures on them. That's very, very important. If you're on a cruise, make sure it has your cabin number, or that at the very least you write the cabin number on the back. That's what we usually do.
That's the best way to do, because then you can order 500 or whatever and use them for different trips, and then just write your contact. So we're on a cruise this time, we're going to write a room number. This time we're at a takeover and wherever, and we're going to write a room number on this or whatever. So you can just reuse them as opposed to recycling them and buying a whole new pack. This way, if you're able to keep the back empty or keep an area free for you to write down where you're at. And we usually, like when we do this, we're on the plane, room number room number we're just like doing it on the plane. So
yeah, and also when you are traveling to another country, it's important that you do pay attention to what the electrical requirements are, and that actually goes back to what we were talking about as far as toys are concerned. For example, the Hitachi Magic Wand, which is hugely popular, does not work in Europe. So that is something that you want to keep in mind, as far as we've heard anyway. We haven't tested that one out, but we've definitely read that. And if you need the little extensions or the converters, to get to the 220 volts or whatever it might be. Some people will actually have their toys that plug into their laptop. They have the USB, so they'll plug in their laptop. You don't have to worry about any of those things at all as far as the converters are concerned.
Yeah. But you still have to plug your laptop into something.
Yes.
So you still need
it. All right, okay.
Or to plug your cell phone in so you can take photos, or a camera that has rechargeable batteries or whatever.
Sure.
I mean, we recharge so much nowadays, you're probably going to need some sort of cord. That, grab your converter, because you don't want to get there and be like, oh man, I forgot my converter that I could have bought for way cheaper on, wherever I get my stuff. Now you're stuck in a foreign country trying to figure out which one you need. Hopefully you'll find a place, and you just, the more prepared you can be for a trip, the better, because there's less stuff that you have to worry about when you get there. Now you're worried because you got to get a converter at the airport, or you didn't find one, and you just want to get to the hotel, or you just want to get to your first excursion or whatever. So another thing is, make sure that you bring your swag bag of items that you take to clubs. So we talked about condoms and lube,
right.
Like obviously you're gonna take that to the club, but what other items, like we know a lot of people that have like a little backpack or a little purse that they always carry to the club.
Sure.
But if you're going to these places where there is going to be play, even if it was just a hotel takeover, you still want to bring your little bag of, keeping your condoms in there, and your lube, but also, do you need breath mints or, gum or whatever, or what else do you keep in your bags? You keep like wipes in case, you
need to wipe.
Yes. Or maybe if you're a squirter, maybe you keep the little pads with you or something. Because, I don't know. If I was a squirter, I would. Because unless I knew the club provided it, I wouldn't want to show up to a place without it and be that girl.
That made the mess on the floor.
And everybody's like, ugh.
They're not like that. They're like,
I don't squirt, so it's not an issue. But what I'm saying is, make sure you pack your little bag that you can take with you to another hotel room or whatever it is, with your essentials of what you need. And, maybe it's your bag that you keep your vibrator in or whatever, I just let him carry the condoms. So
yeah, perfect. All right, so we went over a lot of different things. We kind of went through our list of the things that we always tend to think about, tend to bring on the vacations that we go on, and we do go on a lot of them. But I'm sure there are things that we are forgetting. So this is what we want you to do. If there is something that we're forgetting, make sure you comment below, like what you bring. What do you bring, and what are your tips and tricks and techniques to make traveling on a lifestyle vacation a little bit easier for you, and would be easier for others on their vacations, so that they don't end up like us the first few times we did it, where we brought way too much stuff that we never used. And
then forgot all the essential things.
And exactly, perfect. And of course, if you do want to join us on any of these amazing upcoming adventures that we're going on a lot of them in the next couple of years. So just make sure you go to this website right there and check out and see what awesome things that we'll be doing. And
come explore with us.
Absolutely, and we can test out all the fun sex toys and condoms and things all together.
For sure.
Yeah.
And make sure you subscribe so you can keep up on all the cool things we're doing, and watch all of our new videos that come out.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you so much for watching. We really, really appreciate it.
We can't wait to travel with you.
Yeah, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.